Welcome to the First Look Seminar. We are in week 2 here at Santa Anita Park. And Gino Bacola, what a start we've had to the meet. We've had full fields. We've had great racing. We've had wind in your ends, and we've had great weather. And can't ask for too much more to start out the meet.
No, you get the good racing action, like you said, with Breeders' Cup implications, these big stakes races, graded stakes races where horses are prepping, and we're going to see them run in just a month. And then we also think about some of the new wagers and the really player-friendly wagers that are happening throughout the meet with the Sunset Six, the Coast to Coast Pick 5, and then even the free contest that you have going like Showviver and the one that you and I love, Chappie, especially this time of the year with all the football going on, those pick'em contests. I mean, you can kick back tomorrow for nothing, win $500 while you're sitting around and answering some questions about college football and Saturday at Santa Anita. So there is just so much going on. And that's not even like all the on-track stuff too. So man, it's a great time to be a racing fan.
No question. And Seminar Skip, we got another good card on Saturday and Sunday. Full fields. We got some winning you're in for the Breeders' Cup and right around the corner, my friend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Should be a great weekend of racing. The weather's going to be great, and I can't wait. Hopefully the luck will change and we could start picking some winners and making some money.
Well, let's give it a shot, and we're going to concentrate on the late pick 5 for tomorrow, Saturday, October 4th. It's a 10-race card as we spoke about. So, Gino, we start with race 6 at Santa Anita, mile on the turf, maiden special weight, and a full field here of 13 with the also eligible. So we're starting out for the giant field here. What are your thoughts here to start us off?
Yeah, the horse down on the inside, Falcon Jet, is the morning line favorite. I think I'm going to take a shot against this horse right away in the pick 5. Even just watching this horse in the mornings train a little bit just doesn't seem like the one as good of the Bafferts. And if you notice, he's lost to 3 other Baffert runners in his 3 races so far. Now they're going to go long on the grass. And if he does get out of the gate and run well in here, I think there's going to be other speed to his outside too. There's a couple others in here who have already shown speed. So I'm looking for a few that are going to be interesting prices. The number 4, Medici, this horse ran really well first start on the grass. I mean, if you back this one, which I did, he had a 3-length lead at the top of the lane and you absolutely thought he was home. But I'll say, he ran his race. It wasn't any excuses. He didn't have a bad trip. He just lost to a little bit better horse that day. If you're a gambler and the horse opens up and you get your run, nothing you can do there. But it wasn't a surprise to see him step forward because his dam, Avenge, we remember, was a multiple grade 1 winner on the turf. So this is what he wants to do. He wants to go long on the turf. You know, he's a half sibling to our buddy Venganza down the hill, who won a couple times last year down the hill. Maybe just saying that name out loud will give us some of the good mojo that we had when we got Venganza into the winner's circle last year. So nice little pedigree on the grass for horses going long on the grass. I think the 4 is really interesting. But the one long shot I want to mention, who I think will absolutely outrun their odds, and if they are this type of a price, I'm going to make a win wager on him, is the 7 Classico, who has really light speed figures for Doug O'Neill. But with horses going long, in particular long on the turf for 2-year-olds, those speed figures jump up and down and move around a lot because they're just not a ton to go off when they're making the speed figures. They don't have lots of sample sizes to compare to. Classico, in that turf race on August 17th, was down inside, was 3rd, sitting about 2 lengths off. This horse got shuffled back, lost position, came back again, was just behind the leaders, angled around, was up to 2nd, and then ended up just losing a photo. This is a really good effort from a horse going long for the first time. I think could get a really nice education coming out of that. So the 7 Classico is the long shot I wanted to mention. The 4 Medici, I think, is a very logical horse, 2nd time long on the turf. And I'll probably use some of the horses coming out of that Medici race as well. I think that's a very live race, but I feel like my main stance in this start of the pick 5 is probably going to be just against Falcon Jet and using a few in here to try to get by.
Skipper, a couple things I'll ask you about. Obviously, on a buyer scale figure, you know, Falcon Jet has got some pretty good numbers. Obviously ran 2nd and 3rd to some very, very talented Baffert runners. Bred up and down for the turf, but I see what Gino's saying. Other than maybe Conducted, who's getting a big jock switch and who's ran against Brat and Hey Nene, that looks like a horse to beat. Are you using the 1, or are you kind of going another way as well?
You know, it's funny. when Gino was talking about leaving or trying to go against the one, that's exactly what I was going to do. If the one wins, he beats me. I'm leaving that horse off. I like a couple other ones in here. You know, it's going long. It's going on the grass first time, all new things. Now, listen, it's got beat by nice other Baffert horses. And this horse is bred for the grass. JJ Hernandez jumps aboard. You know, it's going to get a lot of money. It's not going to get my money. One of the ones I'm going to use that Gino didn't mention, I really like the way number 3, Azario, has been training for Jeff Mullins. I like the work on the 28th of August at Del Mar, and then I like over the Tapeta surface, the 21st here. That horse is definitely going to be on my ticket. I gave out Honey Choice on the radio show last time. This horse ran really sneaky good. First time out, going long. On the grass, I think this horse is going to move way up after that race. I did like the work. It came back and worked really nice on the 27th. And then another one I'm going to use is Conducted. You know, you guys mentioned this one. Comes out of the stakes race, the Del Mar Juvenile Turf, grade 3. Didn't run that bad. I like Hector Berrios jumping aboard. I really like that. We know how good he rides, and especially on the grass. Another one that I'm going to use the Michael McCarthy, the 10. Here's some more. This horse ran good. It was wider than these other horses. Maybe lost some ground. I think it'll move forward from that. All that being said, 5 is my top choice, Honey Choice. I'm using the 3. I'm going to use the 4, Medici, because of that speed and breaking from the outside. For all the reasons that Gino said, Avenge, Conducted's going to be on my ticket. I wasn't going to use Classico, but Gino talked me into it. And then the other one is the 10 that I just mentioned, Michael McCarthy. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 for me to start off.
All right, little spreadsville for both of you guys. I'm not that brave. I am going to use Falcon Jet in there just because the breeding. You know, a Baffert was never been known for turf, right? He's been doing that a little bit more lately and had some success, you know. Until this year, I don't ever remember him doing it as much as he had, especially with youngsters, Gino. But he seems to.
It makes sense because you got to separate them a little bit too, right? Because he has so many of them out here. So it does make sense to, hey, you know what? Let's get some of these on the grass because they can still show their speed and their talent on the grass a lot of times, especially if you're going long on the grass when some of these horses aren't fast enough. I just wonder if in this particular race there are a couple other speeds. And I didn't love the stuff in some of the works in the morning, but that we talk about it. Sometimes that doesn't matter as much when you're going long on the grass, right? If you're looking at a horse as a dirt sprinter and watching those videos in the morning of him sprinting on the dirt compared to other really nice Bafferts, maybe going long on the grass will take a little bit of that early pressure off of this guy. But I think he's going to take a lot of money in here. And Skip and I are both sort of looking for some of the other fun horses, in particular that one race with Medici and Honey Don't, who I think you can use, or Honey's Choice, who I think you can use all 3 of them, even the 10. Who he mentioned. I agree. That horse was right there with Honey's Choice, and those 2, 3, 4 finishers all looked very live. So not the easiest way to start this this late pick 5, Chappie.
And what I think too is if we had a top pick, I think Gino would be 4, Skip would be 5, and I would be 6 actually.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm going to use the 1, but I'm with you on that. So different opinions. Maybe we start out with a little bit of a price. We all like a little bit of a price here. All right, let's move on to race 7, second leg. Skippy going 6.5 furlongs. Allowance optional claimer. Calbreds. What are your thoughts here in leg 2?
You know, my top play is going to be the 3, Ocean Bear. First time out, and I know it got beat by the 1. Can't help himself, or can't help myself. But then it came right back and won, and I like the way that this horse won. Papa Badromo trains it. Richard Barton, one of our sponsors for the radio show, is the owner and breeder. This horse is bred really nice. I like the 3 on, the best. Another one I'm going to use is the 5. This horse did not run that bad in I'm Smoking. They paid a lot of money for it, $250,000. It's 5-1. I got to use it. I'm definitely going to go 3-5 on my ticket. I might add the 1 also. I don't like the rail, but it did show speed. There's not a whole lot of speed in here. I'm going to use the 1. I'm just going to go 1-3-5 in here. Nothing crazy. That's another reason why I tried to beat the 1. Falcon Jet in the first leg. I just think if you beat that one, you got a shot, and then you could kind of spread around a little bit more. I think it's ABC here. What about you, Gino?
Skip, we were very, very similar. I'm glad you mentioned the 5, Fianello. Coming out of that, I'm Smoking. That's the horse that I really liked. I had 5-3-1, just almost the same as you did, but just for Fianello, because that might be the one that people wouldn't maybe use right away, looking at the one on paper. He was fifth. He was fifth, about 4 lengths off. Then he dropped back. He really got into his best stride late, and he just missed third. That was going 5.5 furlongs. You get the extra furlong here. And when you look at this horse's pedigree, the dam, My Fiona, she actually was a stakes winner from 5.5 all the way to a mile, and she won twice going 6.5 furlongs at Santa Anita. So this distance could be absolutely perfect for Fianello in here. And shout out to Mrs. Bacola. She's a 135 try box. Those are her numbers. So this is her race for sure.
It was made for her right here.
Yeah.
The only horse I'm going to add, I'm 1-3-5-6. I think Saul Elliott should like the extra distance. Had a little bit of a layoff last time out, drawn farther outside coming out of the stake race. Don't be afraid, everyone. If you see Freysu taking off, Freysu has days. So that's why Cohen is up aboard that horse. So I'm 1-3-5-6. That's my one addition to you guys.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Gino, back to you. The Rodeo Drive, Grade 2, Race 8, 1.25 miles on the turf. And we've got some East Coast invaders, Midwest invaders. What are your thoughts here in this 8-race field?
Yeah, no real standout in this race either. Like nobody who you can look at and feel really confident that they're going to show up with a great effort. So this race could give you a price in here. I do think Amber Cascade, who ran well in the Flower Bowl last time out and has run well now in like 3 or 4 races in a row, I do think she's solid. I think she fits well with this group, but she's not a horse that I'm like scared of or terrified of. Couple that I think could offer you some really nice value. The number 2, Starry Heavens. This horse was not usually as far back as she was in her last race. If you look at her prior races, she was always sitting much, much closer. Last time out, she was a step slow. She was in the Alpha Bella race, where Alpha Bella is going 51-51 to the half. That's how fast she went. And Starry Heavens is inside, in tight. She closes really well up the inside when she gets room, and was absolutely like chasing a crawling pace. Yes. I think she can go way faster early and be much more in the mid pack here. I mean, if you were handicapping that race, it looked like she and Alpha Bella were the 2 speed horses. And then when she broke slowly, the race was over. Alpha Bella was gone. Now in this race, I think there's a couple others because it's a bigger field. You could even get a horse like last time. Watchtower held that position down on the inside. I think the 4 Long Ago is definitely going to go. So we're not going to get anything like 50 and change like we got in that last time, because I think there are at least a couple of horses that'll make this pace honest. The 2 Starry Heavens is going to be on my tickets for sure. The 4 Long Ago, I think, will be forwardly placed. I'm going to throw in on one ticket somewhere the 3 Speed Shopper. It's only because this isn't the strongest field in the world. And so you'd probably look at this horse initially and say, I don't think she can win a graded stakes. But if you look at her form in her 3 turf races, it was really good. And she sat last time. I think Dylan Davis it was kind of a tough trip, but I think he was like a little overconfident too, because he was just sitting 3 wide with her like he kind of would on the dirt. And he made this early move to the lead and opened up a few lengths like she was going to win. And she just flattened out because she was wide and she moved early. I'm going to throw her in some spots because there's nobody in here that scares me. Lots of 2 Starry Heavens, lots of 4 Long Ago, and then some long shot with the 3 Speed Shopper.
Skipper, this race confused me as well. At first I thought exactly what Gino said, the pace-wise last time. I will use Alpha Bella because I think that horse, she can go to the lead or sit off, and Barrios is so good tactical-wise. But I thought this race was very puzzling to me. What were your thoughts here?
Very puzzling to me, too. The 5, listen, I'm going to go all. I'm not going to get fancy. I like the 5, Mission of Joy, probably the best. I think this horse is starting to round into form. It was training good down at Del Mar. It has a couple good works at Santa Anita. I think that horse is rounding into form. I don't know what to do here. I'm going all, and then I'm going to go light these last two races. I don't like anybody a lot in here, and I think anybody could win. I think the two, Gino made a great case for it. Starry Evans, Speed Shopper, I'm definitely using.
Yep.
Broke its maiden very nicely at Saratoga, then came back against winners. Maybe got the lead too early, got a little tired late. Those both are 10 and 15 to 1. I'm going all. I'm not going to get cute or nothing. I'm just going to go all and hope I get a little bit of a price in here.
And another thing, Gino, to add to that is most of these horses, to add another part of the puzzle, most of them haven't gone 1.25 miles.
Yeah, it's not a preferred distance for a lot.
Starry Evans is the one who loves the 1.25 miles. So
yeah.
Second start back too after a little bit of a break, missed a race. I think was entered in another one of these races, so it missed a little bit of time. Could just be sharper and save some ground down on the inside. So yeah, I think she's really interesting here in a race where I have no problem with what Skip did, because the difference between, the first, if you were to rank horses in order of how you like them in this race, like the difference between the first and the last one would not be much.
I'm hitting the all button as well. I'm absolutely, you could make a case for any of them or a case against any of them almost. Yeah. So I'm 100% with you there, Skip. So, all right. Go ahead,
Skip. This was another reason why I wanted to try to beat Falcon Jet to start it off, because Falcon Jet's going to be the clear favorite in that race. So that's why I'm not using them, and just hope I could get lucky and get a couple crazy ones coming in later. Yeah. That was another thought of mine.
All right, Skipper, let's go right back to you in race 9. We got another grade 2, the grade 2 Oakleaf. And these are fillies stretching out, most of them who haven't been this long, which adds some more mystery to the field. Explorer is going to be a very short price. Skip, you said you're going short here. What are your thoughts here in this race?
I wanted to single Explorer, but I can't. I got to use the 3. The 3 wants to go 2 turns, wants to go a distance, did not run bad in the debutante grade 1, was coming late. This horse has been training extremely well. I really like the work on the 21st. So I'm just going to go too deep here. I think Explorer is going to go to the lead. I love that Baffert takes the blinkers off. He's got good numbers on everything he does, but 32% with blinkers off, with 2 routes or sprints to a route, 53%. I don't know if I don't know. I got to use the 3. So I'm just going 3-6 here.
All right. And Gino, obviously 3-6, I'm with him on that. The question here is, everyone looks at a horse like Kamika, the 4, and says, oh, the longer they go, because she was so brilliant first 2 times out, longer they go, maybe it's not so good. She's by Curlin, so it looks like she should be able to run for miles. So, yeah. And who goes to the front of the 2 Bafferts, the 4 and the 6?
I think that's what the thing that I'm trying to read, because when the 6 takes the blinkers off, is that signaling anything? She's drawn to the outside. Right. And if you look at Kamika, she's kind of been like a little slow. It's not right out of the gate. It's like her 2nd or 3rd step. She's kind of not smooth. Yeah. I almost wonder if they just try to go with her, have Explorer sit off a little bit. And then when that happens, things can get a little tricky, right? Yeah. Like if Kamika is the one that gets a length on the field and they're trying to grab a hold of Explorer, and then she doesn't really get into her comfortable stride, that's a little bit worrisome. I don't really like Kamika that much, though. I'm not sure if she's quite, like, just watching her and comparing her. I do prefer Explorer. I just think she's better. I think the outside draw will help her. So if she does have to sit a little bit more, that's fine. But I actually really agree with Chappie on the 3, too. This horse is sneaky because she's got light figures. Like her debut win, she didn't earn a big buyer speed figure. It was early in the meet, too, when the races aren't quite as strong. You're not going to get them as fast as others where you just get those like really big speed figures. And she waited the whole meet to run in the Del Mar Debutante. Right. And when she went into the Del Mar Debutante, she was working like on almost any workout report that you look at, like A's and A minuses, like better than all the Baffert horses in the race that she was facing, which is really crazy. And she breaks out a bit. She takes back. She's 6th, but she's only 3 lengths off. She's a little bit wide early. Then she goes wide to the inside. She's saving ground down on the inside, and she starts to travel well, and she's got to wait. and she's behind horses a little bit, and she just got to tap on the brakes and wait when she's traveling well. Bottle of Rouge, the winner that day, she makes the outside move and doesn't have to stop. And then Lawali waits and then moves around her. And she ends up almost beating Explora for second, even having to kind of pick herself up and angle around. It just really looks like she should be better going longer. They set her up really well for this. Like, I really like the 3 quite a bit, Lawali. Like, I've been waiting for her as a young filly horse. I picked her in a couple fantasy leagues that I'm in because I thought she would run well in some of these type of races. And as Skip pointed out, she continues to work really well in the mornings too. Yeah. She's just a nice animal. So I'm going to be, I think, a lot of 3-6 in here. And I think I didn't really know what to do with that other race because Heaven's Bolt and Bonsai Betty come out of that same race.
Yep.
It was okay, but I'm going to just feel like Lawali and Explora come out of the better race, the Del Mar Debutante, and I'm going to go with those 2.
So you 2 are 3-6. I'm 3-4-6. I just don't know what to do with that pace and the curling part of it. That maybe the horse gets an easy lead, like Gino said, and rolls home. And I might go all in the last. So the last takes us to the Speakeasy. Skip, another stake. We're going 5 furlongs on the turf, and very interesting race. Once again, some shippers coming in, and Skipper.
I don't know if you did see the one's out. Schwarzenegger is out.
Yes, Schwarzenegger is out. Correct. Yeah. Schwarzenegger has been scratched about 7 times already.
I was going to say 17, yeah.
And has drawn the rail like 16 of those 17 times and keeps getting scratched. So it's not a rumor he's scratched.
No.
That was bad.
So he'll be back, I guess is what you'll say?
Yeah. All right, boy, the humor's horrible.
The end of a Friday, you can tell, right?
Gino, we'll start with you there. Go ahead. Schwarzenegger's out. What are your thoughts here?
This is a fun race to close things out. 5 furlongs on the turf course. A couple that are definitely going to be on the ticket for me. The 11, Brigant. So look at this horse. Debuts going 5 furlongs. Loses to a horse named Hey Nay Nay. That horse came back and won the Grade 3 juvenile turf. That is a really nice horse for John Sadler, who's probably going to be one of the favorites in the Breeders' Cup juvenile division that horse runs in. And then following that race, they tried the dirt with Brigant. He runs into 2 Baffert horses that might be the top 2 boys in the 2-year-old division, Desert Gate and Brant. Desert Gate's going to be favored earlier on the card, and Brant isn't running here, but he's probably the Breeders' Cup juvenile favorite. So, I mean, when you look at what Brigant's done in those 3 races, and what I really like now is you're going to go 3rd start of the form cycle, and he gets to cut back after going 6 and 7 furlongs to 5. And
drawing the rail the last 2 times,
right? And going to the outside with the blinkers coming on to keep him close. But I think he can finish a little bit too. So he's absolutely a player. I want him all over the place. I do think there's a couple others because, like, I'm looking at maybe a horse like the 8, Bacho, which means kiss. Bacho. Because was fast from the outside, and if you could see, this one's dam was Katie's Kiss, so was cleverly named. Sat just off at Monmouth Park, moved to the lead, opened up, was visually impressive. Wesley Ward had Schwarzenegger in this one, but this one's going to run, not Schwarzenegger. So, I mean, we'll be giving kisses if we can get any winners at all right now with some of our luck. We'll give everybody at the track around us kisses like that. I remember one time when I grabbed someone and just like shook them and yelled right in their face like, ah, and then went off and they were looking at, there's nothing like when you win and you got that energy, right? Yeah. So kisses all over the place if Bacho wins, Chappie.
All right. So Bacho shockingly showed speed first time out for Wesley Ward and a good case for Brigante on the outside. Skipper, your thoughts? I'm shoving here. I'm going all in. You haven't mentioned my horse yet. Skipper, what are your thoughts?
You know, I almost was going to single the 2 Twilight Delight. I really like this horse. I now it's on the rail. I don't think it needs the lead to win. I really like the workout on the 27th at Keeneland. It sat outside of a horse, very relaxed, went by and galloped out really good. You know, first time out at Ellis Park, won very nicely. The horse that got second came back to win. They put it right into the juvenile sprint stake at Kentucky Downs. As we all know, that's kind of a weird track in the field there. maybe it didn't like the track there, came back to work well. He was entered at Keeneland today, and he decided, or tomorrow, but he decided to come out here in the Speakeasy. So the 2's going to be on my ticket. I almost singled it, but I'm not. I'm going to put the 11, Brigante, the maiden, also. This horse is bred top and bottom for the grass. It finally gets it. It actually ran first time out on the grass against that Hey and Nene that Gino just said. Gets on the outside, blinkers on, 8-1 price. I'm going 2-11 in here only.
Okay. I'm actually going too deep. My bad. I'm going to go 6-11 in here. And I know the 6 Ventry Strand ran against Calbreds the last time, but I just thought visually that was very impressive. And that horse weaved in and out of traffic, which you rarely see from a first-time starter. I love Hector Berrios staying here, and I think this horse jumps up a bit. And I do like Brigante quite a bit, so I got to take a stand somewhere. Too deep for me, 6-11. Actually, the 6 is going to be my top pick, and I know it's a big jump up in class, but we'll see.
You know, I wanted to use the 6 also because I did. That replay was very good. I just didn't like the last work. I don't know if it was because it was on the dirt and this is a turf horse. Yeah. Sometimes we get a little fooled by that. And, you know, that's why I left this horse off. I mean, I couldn't.
That's why I added the 11 actually is the work. You're right. Yeah.
There's one or two that we didn't mention because we all seem like we're shortening a little bit here. But if anyone wants to go a little bit deeper in here, I thought a horse like the Queen Bay at a big price is kind of interesting. Cutting back again, this horse went long. If you look at that race in the Juvenile Fillies Turf on September the 6th, the horses that were 1, 2, 3, 4 early on finished 6th, 8th, 9th, and 11th in that race. So the race completely fell apart. Anyone who was close early backed up, and now this one cuts back, should be sitting close. I even thought the 5 for D'Amato, if they go flying early on, there's not really a horse that's like a for sure closer. That's why I'm kind of hoping that's Brigante that can kind of sit off that way. But you go up and down the field, the only real horse that you can kind of look at as a closers are like the 5 and the 6, right? You threw the 6 in there, Chappie. So you may want to have one horse that you think can at least be coming late if they all go line up early on, which is a very possible chance in a race like this at 5 furlongs where you get 4 or 5 of these horses pushing each other. Make sure you want and you get at least one horse that can come late.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, the Queen Bay went long the last time and in a stake and now cutting back. And that debut was impressive, a small field or not. Yeah. And at 20-1, that's an absolutely ridiculous price on Queen Bay. So, all right, another good card. As we said, you can catch Skip and I tomorrow morning on the Morning Line Sports Show from 8 to 9 on AM 830 or am830.net or the Angels Radio app. And Gino, tell us all about the entire weekend to close us out here.
Yeah, if you need any help with some of these races or any of the other stakes races around the country, you can check out the Daily Racing Forum YouTube. We do a bunch of previews. I think between Friday and Sunday, there were 30 stakes races between Santa Anita, Belmont, Keeneland, and Woodbine even has some on Saturday and Sunday too. So good cards all over. But we're going to focus at Santa Anita with those free-to-enter pick'em contests. Pick'em.santanita.com. Just answer the 12 questions. You could win $500 every Saturday and Sunday while you're watching the football games. There are a bunch of tournaments tomorrow too at ExpressBet. They have a lot of those feeders that are either like $100 feeders or $40 feeders that can get you into other tournaments. And I think there's a big BC qualifier too for $1,000. So those big tournaments are coming up. I mean, whatever, if you're a tournament player, if you're someone who likes to play the multis, you got the Coast to Coast Pick 5 and the Sunset 6. How about you want to go a little shorter? You got the late double or the $3 Pick 3 or the late Pick 3s, right? So I love the wagering menu right now. You can, if you don't want to go Pick 5s and that's too tough for you, that's fine. We got a lot of other options for you if you want to shorten up. So we'll be firing away tomorrow at Santa Anita.
No doubt. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck to everybody tomorrow. And we will be here same time, same channel next week. Thanks, guys.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck.